All right, people, we cannot have 2,000 new subs on Viva PPC and have the channel have no content. That is a sacrilege. So this is it. Episode 1 of my journey running for the People's Party of Canada for the District of Westmount and Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, NDG. Incidentally, this is Winnie the Westie. Most of you probably already know him. He will be on this journey with us. And it cannot be described as anything else but a journey. I don't know what this journey holds in store. And I never thought I would ever have embarked upon this journey, but I have felt compelled to get involved in this journey for reasons that are beyond my control. Now, before doing this, I had discussions with friends, family, acquaintances, saying what I was thinking of doing. And they said, why on earth would you run for the PPC in Westmount NDG? You have virtually no chance of winning. To say that Westmount and NDG goes reflexively liberal is an understatement. It has gone reflexively liberal for years, if not decades, as though voting liberal somehow has some inherent moral value to it, and people will do it notwithstanding the foibles of the leader of the party and the party itself. So I said, I'm going to do this anyhow. And I'm going to do this notwithstanding that it is probably a fight to lose, but who knows, stranger things have happened. But why am I doing it? And what is the purpose of what I'm doing? The purpose of what I'm doing is to normalize the PPC. For those of you who don't know, you probably have some reflexive impressions of the PPC, and you don't even know why you have them. Back in 2018, I remember what happened. I didn't know of the PPC. I didn't know of Maxime Bernier. I just knew of how they were depicted and portrayed in the media. They were depicted as racists, xenophobes, whatever ists, phobes, and isms you want to accuse them of, they were accused of it. Back in the day, I was wet behind the ear and totally ignorant and did not fully appreciate the fundamental corruption of Canadian mainstream news, the CBC, the CTV, etc., etc. I didn't appreciate what was meant by defund the CBC because I didn't appreciate that these mainstream media outlets that were demonizing political parties were being subsidized by the predominant, by the leading federal party. So you can imagine the conflict of interest there where the CBC taking in the order of $1 billion a year from the liberal federal government out there demonizing political adversaries. You don't have to be too creative with an imagination to understand how that's fundamentally problematic. I didn't appreciate it at the time, and I've come to appreciate it since. That everything I thought I understood and knew of the PPC from the media coverage in 2018 was fundamentally wrong. And stop making noise, dude. We're trying to make some video here. And it's not coincidental that typically the people who throw out these accusations of obisms and isms and whatever, it's not a coincidence that oftentimes they have the most skeletons in their closet. Hashtag confession through projection, hashtag accuse others of what you are doing so as to create confusion. It is ironic how the people hurling these insults of racism, xenophobia, have not the cleanest of pasts themselves. But setting that aside, in 2018, Maxime Bernier and the PPC were utterly demonized to the point where when you speak to people on the street, they have reflexive impressions of the party and they don't even know why they have them. So I've gotten to know Maxime Bernier. I've gotten to know the party. I've gotten to know the members because throughout the life of my YouTube channel, for whatever the reason, I noticed a lot of PPC supporters in the comment section, and I've gotten to know them. And I have gotten to know that there is nothing, in my view, in my experience with that party, with Maxime Bernier, nothing racist, nothing xenophobic. And you can want to have restrictions on immigration and not be racist. In fact, to suggest that wanting to have restrictions on immigration is racist presupposes the race or ethnicity of the immigrants, which incidentally is a form of racism. So let that sink in. But you can want to take care of your own citizens and make sure that you're properly taking care of your citizens and not have that be racism, because to accuse someone who believes that of being racist presupposes that your citizens are of one ethnicity only. Surprise, Canadians are not one ethnicity. And to say you want to take care of all Canadians before worrying about having to take on new people is not racist. Unless you think that Canada is only of a specific race. Or unless you're suggesting that in your mind, you would only take care of certain Canadians of a specific race. So there are racist ways to be anti-immigration. And there are not racist ways to be anti-immigration or to put restrictions on it. There are racist ways to be pro-immigration. You can subscribe to a Kelly Osbourne type philosophy of immigration, which unfortunately a lot of people do and don't appreciate the problematic reasoning of that philosophy to support immigration. But to be anti-lockdown is not a form of extremism. It is depicted as that by the media if you are If you are opposing lockdowns for any reason, you are a right-wing extremist. You are selfish if you don't think that people should be wearing face masks outside. You're selfish and don't care about community if you don't think kids should not necessarily be wearing face masks 8 hours a day. This is how it works, is in the mainstream political discussion, to disagree is to be demonized. And the prevailing political parties now have no room for tolerating diverging political beliefs, and so they go around demonizing the party and their members. And my goal in this, if nothing else, I have a very, very insignificant chance of winning in Westmount and NDG, but there's a chance nonetheless. It is to let the rest of Canada know that there is nothing racist about the PPC. There is nothing racist, xenophobic, extremist about thinking that core civil rights and liberties should be protected. And that once you stop protecting the rights of any single individual, you no longer protect the rights of any individual. And that is what the PPC, and only the PPC, has been standing for the last year and a half. And that was my eye-opening experience. And that was when I said, even if this is a fight to lose, it's a fight I have to get involved in. And if I lose in my district, I can nonetheless succeed in normalizing the PPC to those out there who have been conditioned to perceive the party as something that it is not. Thus ends our episode 1. The subsequent episodes in this series are going to deal with certain issues on a issue-by-issue basis. The first and foremost of which is going to be the idea that wanting to have restrictions on immigration is fundamentally racist. I touched on some of the arguments, but we will discuss it in later episodes. For the time being, thank you for your support, thank you for joining me on this journey, and let's make the most of it. Booyah!